Hey, what's going on, everybody? Mystery Schooler here. We are back. We are going to try again the legendary Stork versus Pygmy War. How's everyone today? Yeah, this is an interesting one because lots of people write about these pygmies, not just as an African Ethiopian thing. Hey, Jess Palmer, what's up, buddy? Hey, you know what they say, bro? Fifth time's a try, right? All right, we got Max Vision remote viewing class in the house. What's up, brother? I'm glad you're here, man. This is an interesting one. Yeah, Aristotle writes about pygmies. Homer writes about the pygmies. Pliny the Elder writes about pygmies. And not just dark skinned, light skinned, Asian, North American, African, all over the world. All right, we got Caucasian Sasquatch in the house. What's up, brother? Yeah. Wow, Max, we're 1 minute into the presentation. You hit the nail on the head right there. I was going to ask that question later. Are we evolved pygmies? Are we evolved pygmies? Are we even the man described in the Bible and things like that? Interesting. Yeah. We're definitely pygmies compared to the last humans, whatever you want to call them, that's for sure. How tall was Adam, right? Adam was a giant or something. Yeah, and another thing about this Stork versus Pygmy War is interesting is some people say that they're not little, the pygmies, but the storks are actually gigantic. But I would argue that, the writings of Homer and Pliny the Elder are pretty, clear that they're like about 1.5 feet tall, at least in their depictions. But yeah, it's interesting stuff, though. Thanks for being here, guys. Welcome. Get situated. Everybody get comfy. First, we're going to go over some documented discoveries of pygmy graveyards, whatever you want to call them, in North America, in Tennessee of all places, huh? Let's jump right into it. Now you can see here on this very old map, Perry Reese map, there's the Rupus Pulvis Polaris, the center of the Earth right over there. And right here you can see pygmies, PYGMEI. Yeah, and this is very similar to, I don't know if you guys have seen the map for the Wizard of Oz, but it looks very much like this. And it also has little pygmies there too, in that place. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know why people want to say that, maps aren't evidence of things. I disagree strongly. How can maps not be evidence of things, but some random historian who gets a paycheck to tell you about things, that's completely credible or whatever, right? Just headcanon nonsense. Yeah, maps are more reliable than historians in my opinion, because they were made by the people back then, not just cheap words, right? Notice in the northeast over there, guys, northeast, you see the Scythians. That's going to come up in the story later, but yeah, basically the pygmies upset a demigoddess, and she cursed them with the storks to constantly stalk them around the world and forcing them to live underground. Now here's a colored version of the map, and there's actually some text on the pygmies here. It says, "Here live pygmies, at most 4 feet tall, for like those called scalingers in Greenland." That's interesting because it's not Greenland, but I know in Scotland over here we have Skara Brae. Sorry about that, guys. In Scotland over here we have Skara Brae. It's a stone-built Neolithic settlement. It's an archipelago, Scotland, and yeah, it's just straight up a little village. I mean, what do you guys think? This is just a regular person's village, and they just crawled in there every day and just decided to live in like a tiny little hallway that's like really uncomfortable, or are all the legends true? What I don't get is that we're supposed to call it legend, but in my opinion, Plato and all those things, guys, and Homer and stuff, they weren't that long ago. I mean, they kind of in the perspective of one person, but in the grand scheme of things, was it really that long ago? Like, these guys were here. They walked among us. They could even still be out there in the deep brush for all we know. We're gonna go over some right now. Some in Tennessee, they discovered. So I got some newspaper articles from the late 1800s. Yeah, a pygmy graveyard in Tennessee. This is from the Woodbury Press. An ancient graveyard of vast proportions has been found in Coffee County. It is similar to those found in White County and other places in Middle Tennessee. We're going to cover those, don't worry, guys. But is vastly more extensive and shows that the race of Pygmies who once inhabited this country were very numerous. The same peculiarities of position observed in the White County graves are found in these. Okay, so similar culture for sure. And they're right next to each other, ideally. The writer of the letter says, some considerable excitement and curiosity took place a few days since near Hillsborough, Coffee County, on James Brown's farm. A man was plowing in a field which had been cultivated many years and plowed up a man's skull and other bones. After making further examination, they found that there were about 6 acres in the graveyard. They were buried in a sitting or standing position. Maybe they weren't buried like that, guys. Maybe there was a cataclysm and they got melted in the mud like that, right? Why the hell would you bury someone in a standing position? Anyways, the bones show that they were a dwarf tribe of people, about 3 feet high. It is estimated that there were about 75,000 to 100,000 buried there. This shows that this country was inhabited hundreds of years ago. Woodbury, Tennessee Press. Wow. Huh? I never heard of this. You guys ever heard of this? Anybody live in the area may give us a local account. I really appreciate that. This is the Nashville Wig, July 5th, 1820. Oh, guys, before I continue, I'd just like to say I got a lot of this information from a channel called Robert Seffer. He's a really famous anthropologist, very credible. Yeah, just thought I'd give him a little shout out. Definitely check out Atlantean Gardens. This is the Nashville Wig, July 5th, 1820. One of the most persistent and widely published tales about Tennessee prehistory concerns cemeteries of diminutive stone-lined graves containing the remains of a primordial pygmy race. In July 1820, the Nashville Wig published an account of these mysterious remains, described in detail the discovery of hundreds of diminutive graves on several farms near Sparta in White County, Tennessee. Now, I've mentioned this before, guys. Also, in that area in Tennessee, there's also it's named Sparta, by the way, right? And there's just a replica of the Pantheon there. Yeah, look it up. Tennessee Greek Pantheon. It's like a perfect replica. They say, yeah, the Mormons came through and built it. Okie dokie. I don't think so, but anyways. On the farm of Turner Lane, 5 miles southeast of Sparta, Tennessee, on the waters of the Caney Fork of Cumberland, and on other farms adjacent, have lately been found small graves, sunk into the earth from 1 foot to 18 inches below the surface. Wow, that's really, I mean, even for a pygmy or something small, that's really a short distance to bury someone deep in the surface, right? Were they killed by a cataclysm? Are they really not buried like that, right? Is it really not a graveyard you're in? Is it a village? Anyways, they are about 10 inches broad and 18 inches long, having a flag limestone rock at each of the ends and sides. And covered with the same species of rock in these graves are found skull bones about 3 inches in diameter, nearly sound, the other bones being proportionally small. Between 200 and 300 of these graves have been discovered. In every tomb yet opened was found a small black earthen pot, about 1 pint in capacity, containing a small conch shell, undecayed, of a gray color on the exterior and red within, and as transparent as this species of shell is usually found. The pot, when broken, exhibits numerous white specks of round, shining particles. I wonder why they broke it. That's messed up. Yeah, I mean, like I said, guys, it's not really up for debate if pygmies exist. Like, they're still around, guys. There's little, tiny, super tiny people. It's just that, we're just like, oh, it's genetics. Well, yeah, it's genetics. They're little people. They're different. But anyways, yeah, so they're around. That's not that old of a picture. The rocks which enclose them are thin blue limestone, and not of that neighboring originally, all the limestone in the vicinity being a gray color. That's weird. So they're buried with thin blue limestone, and all the stuff in the limestone in the area is gray. Did something happen to make the limestone gray in the area when it used to be blue? Here is a mystery that baffles conjecture and puts all experience at defiance. The stories of the Pygmies of Herodotus on the borders of Ethiopia and the Red Sea, and those of Homer in India, have always been treated as fables, which, in the days of those men, entered into most of their written compositions. How could a nation of pygmy men not exceeding 18 inches in stature build habitations, clear forests, cultivate soil, and defend themselves against the ravages of the elements? That's a pretty solid point, guys. I don't know. And here we go. We're in Iran. Right? Now we're in Iran. Yeah. It's a newspaper. Not newspaper, sorry. It's an article I saw on the www. And it says, yeah, Gulliver's experience can come true in Iran's dwarf city. Iranian ancient village in the south of Khorasan province, known as Makhounik, has astonished many people who are fond of visiting a real dwarf city. So there you have it, folks. I mean, like I said, it's not really a conspiracy theory. The mainstream narrative will tell you there was these little tiny people. It's just the way they tell you and the way they explain it. You know, because if you look up pygmy, it'll tell you specifically Ethiopia. You know what I mean? But here we go right here in Iran. So, okie dokie, right? And then a lot of the older legends say, you know, like I just showed you, North Pole and the center of the Earth. Yeah, the Scythians, all that stuff, right? Homer talks about them all over the place. Interesting. So now we're going to get into the actual Pygmy versus Stork War, which is the title of the video. But yeah, I just couldn't leave that last bit out, guys. Like, can you believe that? North America? If anybody lives in Tennessee, it's listening or watching in the area, I think it was Coffee County. Yeah, let me know. Let me know. Get some pictures or something, huh? Yikes. I'm surprised I haven't heard about this before. I'm going to jump back to the chat real quick, check on everybody. Yeah, Max Vision says Adam was said to be 60 feet tall. Yeah, I believe it, man. I think there was larger humans back then for sure. Yep. All right, we got Shari Ives in the house. Hey, Shari says hi ho. Hey, good to see you. Shari says pygmy marmosets are very cute. What's that? Yeah, thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. The cranes do this, for they travel from Scythia to the marshes in the higher parts of Egypt, from which the Nile originates. This is the place where the pygmies dwell. And this is no fable, for there is really, and it is said, a race of dwarfs, both men and horses. Whoa. That would be what? Centaur, right? Horseman, centaur, which lead the life of troglodytes. Aristotle. Yeah, shit's about to go down, guys. Get ready. Yeah, what do you think? They ride on rams. They ride on goats and stuff. That'd be pretty cool though, huh? To be that little. But man, I mean, they drove them to live underground though. It's not just like regular. I don't think it's regular. In my opinion, the myths and legends are true, and it's not just a regular stork overpopulation or local population driving the pygmies nuts or whatever. I think it's more than that. It's some weird curse or something. They're following them around. You get what I'm saying? Anyways, holy shit, it's going down, folks. It's going down right now. Oh my god, shots fired. Holy shit, dude. Have you guys heard of this? What is going on? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Wow, what do you guys think? Huh? Check this out. So there is a description for what we're seeing here, but yeah, it is a stork versus pygmy war very much, and it's very. You can see in the back they're actually repeating. They're retreating to the pygmies are retreating to the caves. You know, just like it says in Pliny the Elder describes them as cave people. And the legend is consistent with the mythology, whatever is consistent with that they were they lived underground as well. So yeah. Now people say that there was like it was like a festival they would have every year to come and do this, and that could very well be, and that could be an older tradition based on this to keep the population in check of the storks. I don't know, but yeah, that they would like annually go out and do this or something like that. And let me get to that slide real quick. All right, we got Meta Yarby in the house. What's up, brother? Thanks for being here, man. According to Homer, there existed a tribe of pygmies, or diminutive people, 1.5 feet tall, who were constantly at war with cranes. The Iliad, Book 3. This Greek myth recounts how these pygmies lived in caves and rode about on rams, just like we saw in the engraving, guys. Annually, the tribe partook in a great war with the cranes, with the objective to steal and eat many crane eggs and chicks, thereby keeping the vicious crane population in check. And like I said, I'm not sure if that's like just the whole thing or if that's a tradition that survived because of this old war. I think it might be B, but yeah, savage though, man. Did you guys see all those pygmies all dead on the ground, their entrails picked out and stuff? It's freaking crazy. Could you imagine being that little, all those storks flying over your head trying to peck you to death? It makes that horror movie, The Crow or whatever, just seem like child's play, right? Yeah, here's some more depictions of that, you know? Yeah, the storks versus the pygmies. Check it out. They got their rams. What are they riding, by the way, up there, huh? It's not a ram. Maybe it is. Huh. The horns look different. Wow. Yeah, don't forget, some people just say the storks were actually like gigantic and all it's just regular people, but I disagree. Now, Homer's tribe was said to live in Oceanus, a location sometimes interpreted as the Nile, Africa, where cranes migrate. The cranes make for the rivers of ocean to bring death and destruction to the pigs, launching their wicked assault from the air. See, the way he's describing it just doesn't sound like a regular, like, oh no, the storks are here again. It's like they're legit, like at war, like the storks got generals and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, Meta Yarba. I don't know if you're here in the beginning. I try to cover a little bit. The original myth. It's super old. There's not much on it, but something like the pygmies pissed off some goddess that lived near the source of the Nile, you know, which would be the North Pole and all that. And she cursed them with the storks to stop them and war with them and all that stuff. So yeah, interesting stuff though, man. I mean, maybe that stupid festival is the reason they pissed them off in the first place. Yeah, that could be it. I don't know. I don't know, guys, but it's fascinating stuff though. I mean, how often do you hear of a species of man at war with a species of animal, like just straight up like that? I know there's hunting and all that stuff and attacks and all that, but like organized warfare against birds? What the hell's going on? Wow. I never heard of that. I thought that was a trip. Some people get over this information though, and they're like, "Yeah, so what?" I'm like, "All right, no big deal." I don't know. It's interesting to me. I don't get. I don't get it. What, you've heard this one before? Especially that whole bit we covered in the beginning about the North American ones. That's consistent with Native American mythology or lore legend. You know, Colascap and all his kids were killed by the little pygmies and stuff, pygmy people. So, and it even says in Native American legend that I'm not sure which tribes specifically that they used to be nice. The pygmies, the savage pygmies in their myths. They used to be nice. They used to be friends with mankind. And then they turned on them. They have poison darts and stuff. They're like brownies in Willow, except like evil at the time. At least in this, yeah, they killed Scaloscope. I forget his name. Yeah, it's a trip though. We covered that in one of our mystery chats. Can you guys believe this though? Goodness gracious. Well, that's the end of this presentation, everyone. I appreciate all of you. Wow, we went through that quick. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Have a good day, okay?